RBI and the government that high denominations should technically be avoided.
You see, man, just as I explained, these notes were primarily issued to replenish the currency, what you call remonetization. That purpose has been fulfilled. Now, what you say, what you have just pointed out is right. I mean, when you have you see our high value notes, these 2000 rupee notes or even 500 rupee notes, so far their security features have not been breached, not been compromised. Market में the so-called fake currency which you are seeing, most of it is actually sophisticated photocopying. Security features of these high value currency notes have not been breached. But I mean, in any system there are always efforts. Most of the efforts, it was seen earlier, they take place outside the country to breach the security features and to sort of inject fake currency into the system. So a high value note is always prone to, it always is susceptible or vulnerable to efforts on the part of fraudsters to try and clone. So that is a fact, I mean. But this time around, our decision is mainly driven by a need to ensure clean note policy. Please.
Is it close to the 2014 exercise in which the old notes of 2005 were withdrawn? Is it a similar exercise?
It's a similar exercise. We have said that.
So will the large cash deposits be the part of the scrutiny of the RBI as well, or will there be any cash limit to that when people will go and...
RBI तो कोई scrutinize नहीं करता है. बाकी जो एजेंसीज है इनकम टैक्स वगैरह वो तो अपना नॉर्मल प्रोसीजर फॉलो करेंगे. जैसे मैंने कहा कि वो 50,000 के ऊपर कोई अगर टैक्स होता है तो वो तो अदर एजेंसीज के ऊपर डिपेंड करता है वो क्या करते हैं. लेकिन आरबीआई के तरफ से हम ऐसे मतलब किसने कैश ये किया, हम आरबीआई के तरफ से नहीं उसको नहीं करते हैं. जैसे आपको पता होगा बैंकों का एक रिपोर्टिंग सिस्टम है जिसको सीटीआर एसटीआर वगैरह कहते हैं, आपको सबको पता है, वो तो मॉनिटर करते हैं.
Sir, there are reports that some bank ATMs still have 2000 rupee note. So are banks being asked to withdraw those?
देखिए बैंकों में most of the banks, because the demand was not in the market, the demand was not for 2000 rupee notes. So taking into account the demand in the market, demand from customers, most of the banks have modified most of their ATMs. Some places here and there they may be having 2000 rupee notes still being given in the in the ATMs. The banks will have to modify that. Yeah.
Sir, last time when the demonetization had happened, the proposal was moved by the government. So this time, and like we've discussed that earlier as well, this whole denomination was introduced to replenish the system. So was this also proposed by the government, or this was RBI?
No, ये सब internal processes, so these are not valid questions in which the public is interested. These are procedural. मैं आता हूँ. Yeah, Sapna.
Sir, two questions. So you have explained in detail in your press release as well as in your quotes today that what's the intention behind the phasing out. But still some people, still this question arises in our minds, sir, that was this really required? Let me ask my question so that you can answer. Like, was this really required in the sense that when the circulation has already fallen from its peak of 37% to under 11%, people are not using it?
No, that's a view. I mean, I understand what you are saying. That's a viewpoint. No, that's a viewpoint. The question of timing can be raised at any point of time. Why did you do now? Why not later? If you do later, why are you doing now? Why not earlier? So timing is a matter of, I think it's not it's not really relevant. And with regard to the other part you said.
And secondly, sir, also, this question arises that with these kind of moves, maybe a kind of a question arises in people's minds that is our currency management system absolutely credible?
Indian currency management system is very robust. Our exchange rate is among the least volatile among our peer countries. vis-a-vis the dollar, normally we see the exchange rate against the dollar. अब डॉलर के हिसाब से देखेंगे तो रुपये का जो exchange rate है, it has remained stable despite the crisis of, crisis in the international financial markets created due to the war in Ukraine, the failure of certain banks in advanced economies, Indian currency system, Indian exchange system, that is exchange of our currency, the exchange rate, market exchange rate of our currency is very stable. Indian currency management is very robust, and I just pointed out that the security features of this new Mahatma Gandhi series notes have not been breached. So the integrity of our currencies continue. Yeah.
Sir, I have a question. You will be sucking out large number of 2,000 rupee notes. So are you also injecting new 500 and other denomination notes in the system so that,
To make up for the
supply is not
10%.
affected?
No, it will depend on the demand of the people. That is, some of it will get deposited into bank accounts. Some of it will be exchanged. So what is exchanged across the counter, it goes back immediately. What is deposited in the bank accounts depends on the account holders and the customers. If they want to withdraw, they will withdraw. So, just a sec. So if they want to withdraw, they will withdraw. And so far as liquidity in the system is concerned, the RBI monitors the liquidity in the system, whether it is tight or it is loose. Last week we undertook, not for this purpose, but last week you would have seen, we have undertaken a variable rate repo auction of rupees 50,000 crores. It was a variable rate repo auction. We got bids for 46,400 crores, and that was given to the banking system. The RBI on a day-to-day basis monitors the liquidity in the system, and we respond to it. एक मिनट या
सर जैसे कि आपने बोला है कि
रिपीट मत करिए
ना
please
कोई
question.
रिपीटेशन नहीं सर 3,62,000 करोड़ रुपए जो 2000 के नोट के फॉर्म में है सर्कुलेशन में है, क्या आपको लगता है कि 30 सितंबर तक ये सारा पैसा जो है सिस्टम में वापस आ जाएगा सर? और अगर
no,
ये
मैंने तो
नहीं-
कहा कि
अगर-
हमारा
अगर-
एक्सपेक्टेशन ये है कि मोस्ट ऑफ दिस नोट्स विल कम बैक. यस
सर अगर ये नहीं आया सितंबर तक तो क्या ये दिसंबर
इसका भी
तक
मैंने
लीगल
जवाब
टेंडर-
दे चुका
लीगल टेंडर
इसका भी
रहेगा?
मैंने जवाब दे चुका हूं कि देखिए अभी तो शुरू नहीं हुआ एक्सचेंज, कल से शुरू होगा. हमारा एक्सपेक्टेशन है कि वापस आ जाएंगे, तो उस वक्त देखेंगे ना.
सर,
सॉरी
एक-
नहीं
एक- एक-
no,
sorry,
no,
sir.
sir.
Yeah, so on the liquidity, so this 3 point.
Let me listen to the question. Yeah, I'll listen. Look, yeah, tell me please.
Yeah, so of this, on the liquidity issue, even if it is 10-11% of the total cash, so in your estimates, how much would you need to print of additional 500 or 100 notes? Because even if it's 10%, it's not a small amount.
Let me assure you, we have more than adequate quantity of notes available, already printed. We have more than adequate quantity of printed notes already available in the system, not just with the RBI, but also at the currency chests which are operated by the banks. So there is adequate stocks available, and there is no reason to worry whatsoever. We have sufficient stocks, more than sufficient stocks.
सर
I'll just come. Yeah.
सर 20,000 की आपने लिमिट रखी है सर, ये लिमिट तो 50,000 भी हो सकती थी क्योंकि पैन कार्ड की जरूरत आपको 50,000 से ऊपर रहती है. सेकेंडली सर जो आपने
इसे 20,000 आप देखिए 2014 में, मतलब उदाहरण के तौर पर मैं बताऊंगा कि 2014 में जनवरी में जो 13-14 में 2013-14 जो कि जनवरी 2014 में जो 5 पुराने नोट्स को एक्सचेंज करने था, उस टाइम भी था कि आप 10 पीसेस एक्सचेंज कर सकते हैं, 10 पीसेस. अभी भी 10 पीसेस किया है. 2000 इंटू 10 पीसेस 20,000 बनता है. तो एंड फॉर ईज ऑफ कन्वीनियंस ऑल्सो, मान लीजिए कोई बैंक में सडनली 4-5 लोग आ जाते हैं बहुत बिग कैश लेके, फिर वो बैंक का भी नॉर्मल ऑपरेशंस है, अदर कस्टमर्स आर देयर, लेकिन करेंसी नोट्स आर अवेलेबल इन एडिक्वेट क्वांटिटी, चिंता की कोई कारण नहीं.
Do you expect any sort of impact on banking system liquidity, like let's say less than demonetization, because like you said you've been adding liquidity, but the RBI,
No, we added liquidity only last week because the liquidity appeared to be,
But the RBI has been in withdrawal of accommodation mode. So do you expect any sort of temporary?
No. The liquidity system will be managed. Last week we undertook a variable rate repo auction of 50,000 crores because at the system level there was still about 1 lakh crore liquidity available at the system level. But certain entities, certain banks had more liquidity, certain banks were running short of liquidity. So our operation of repo operation last week was only to address the problems of such banks which did not have liquidity. I think 2 more questions, I will stop. No, please.
Sir, my question is there possibility to reintroduce, sir, is there possibility to reintroduce rupees 1000 notes?
देखिए वो स्पेकुलेटिव है, अभी प्लीज वो स्पेकुलेटिव क्वेश्चन है, अभी फिलहाल ऐसा कोई प्रपोजल नहीं है। या देखिए परचेजेस ऑफ गोल्ड रियल एस्टेट के बारे में मैं कह नहीं सकता, वो पब्लिक के ऊपर डिपेंड करता है, बट ये इकोनॉमी के ऊपर इसका इम्पैक्ट विल बी वेरी मार्जिनल। आई एम सेइंग वेरी मार्जिनल बिकॉज it's only 10.8% of the currency in circulation, and as you know 2000 rupee notes were not commonly used in any transactions. I have not seen, or in fact anecdotally, and we have done also some informal survey in various locations in India, we have found that hardly it is used for carrying out, hardly 2000 rupee notes are used for carrying out transactions. So therefore economic activity will not be impacted. Thank you. Thank you.
Will you bring 2000 के नोट
तो नोट बदलने का डाटा तैयार होगा, वहीं बैंक 2000 के नोट का पूरा ब्यौरा रखेगी।
साफ कहा है कि 2000 का नोट लीगल टेंडर है, बाकी जो खरीदता है जो बेचता है उनके बीच में कई समय ऐसा होता है कि कोई दुकानदार के पास मान लीजिए चेंज नहीं है, तो हम कैसे, इसी आपका प्रैक्टिकल भी आपको देखना पड़ेगा, लेकिन 2000 का नोट लीगल टेंडर है। एंड लेट मी वंस अगेन conclude by saying that whatever difficulties and concerns are there which people have, especially including the people who are at the moment living, staying in foreign countries, we will address all those concerns, and it will be our endeavor to ensure that the whole process is smooth and without any difficulty. Banks have been suitably advised to take necessary measures. Thank you very much for
तो आपको बता दें कि 2000 के नोट बदलने की सुविधा सामान्य है और नोट बदलने का पूरा डेटा तैयार करना होगा। आरबीआई गवर्नर ने इस तरह का बयान दिया है, वहीं बैंक 2000 के नोट का पूरा ब्यौरा अपने पास रखेगा और हर मुश्किल का सामना करने के लिए बैंक्स पूरी तरह से तैयार हैं, वहीं मुश्किलों को भी लगातार मॉनिटर कर रहे हैं। तो आरबीआई गवर्नर इस तरह का बयान देते हुए नजर आए और आपको बता दें कि 2000 की नोटबंदी के बाद पहली बार आरबीआई गवर्नर का ये बयान सामने आए हैं और उन्होंने कहा है कि बड़े नोटों से हमेशा भ्रष्टाचार का खतरा बना रहता है। 2000 के नोटों की छपाई बंद हो चुकी है और अगर 31 सितंबर तक सारे नोट बाजार से वापस नहीं आते तो तारीखों को भी संभवतः बढ़ाया जा सकता है, इसका एक अंदेशा दिया, लेकिन इसे पूरी तरह से स्पष्ट तौर पर नहीं कहा जा सकता।